Today is one of the most hopeful and optimistic days in crypto that we've had in a long, long time. Trump just won the presidency. We all knew he was the pro-crypto candidate. And not only did he win the popular vote, the Senate, and the House by somewhat of a landslide. It's like 60-40 almost. All the swing states. Look, it's not the end of the world if I've got any liberal friends out there. If you voted for Harris, it's not the end of the world. But it is politics and it does affect our quality of life. And I believe that his presidency will have effects on the inflation issue that we have, which crypto fixes this. And most importantly, he's going to be friendly to the crypto industry, which directly solves the inflation issue by bringing money back into the power of the hands of the people. Okay, it controls inflation because it goes into people's hands without middlemen, without the corrupt banking cartel, which is really the cause of a lot of the issues. You might not realize, but it goes very deep. That's why we're all here. We're here to get rich. We're here for crypto. We're here to get more free in the process. So we can look at standwithcrypto.com. Shout out to Coinbase. Shout out to Brian Armstrong, doing the most out of any founder out there that I know of in the USA political realm. You know, urging senators and congressmen to do stuff, urging people to vote. And they've got a nice little live election results here thing. We've got 301 electoral votes with Trump winning, and the House of Representatives is now stacked as well as the Senate. They're stacked heavily in favor of pro-crypto candidates. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. I don't know why any civilian would be anti-crypto. It'd be really, really foolish for you to be anti-crypto. That's like saying you're anti-internet. Okay? Now, regulations, sure. We want to be careful. We don't want to be too reckless. We don't want all the scammers, but they're always going to be there. So, you should be pro-technology. You should be pro-progress. And you should be pro-crypto. Because crypto is going to take over the world. And we need to build it right. We need to build it properly decentralized. On top of this, Donald Trump is going to fire Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler is the head of the SEC. He is public enemy number one for all these crypto companies. He sued everybody under the sun, except for FTX, of course, which he let him slide. $10 billion scammer, worse than Bernie Madoff. And Gensler was having backdoor deals with them. So they missed FTX, they missed Celsius, and now they're trying to save face by suing anybody and everybody so that all the people that work there can just collect their trophies and move on to work at the private sector one day. I get it. It's how things work. Okay, it's a revolving door. It's called regulatory capture. But Trump will be firing Gary Gensler on day one, or so he says. So if he actually does what he said he's going to do, check out this clip right here, guys. Check out this clip. Listen really closely.
Day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and Day one.
Fire
Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman.
Day one, I will fire Gary Gensler, appoint a new SEC chairman. This was at Bitcoin 2024. Of course, everybody loved that. It's Bitcoin people, you know. That's what they want to hear, so of course he's going to tell them what they want to hear. But if this happens, this will be monumental for all the open cases out there, for the crypto companies and the people that are being treated unfairly, the investors that are scared to invest, and the builders that are scared to build. You know, Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken, basically anybody with a successful company. Look at CZ. Ended up 4 months in prison just for forgetting to do anti-money laundering for a couple of months, like years ago. So it's nice when the SEC does catch the scammers. It's nice when they do that, but as of right now, they're really barking up the wrong tree for a lot of these cases, including Richard Hart versus the SEC. They're trying to sue Richard and his creations, HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, which are just code, by the way, so that doesn't make any sense. You know, imagine trying to sue code. Imagine trying to sue a typewriter. What is a blockchain? What is code? It's just HEX and PulseX are like the poems that were written on the typewriter, and the typewriter is like PulseChain, okay? So PulseChain is the network, like the typewriter, and it lets anybody write whatever they want on the blockchain network. And then HEX and PulseX live on top of PulseChain. That's how you can think about this technology, okay? So it's like trying to sue the typewriter. You know, people did get very, very upset in the early days of the printing press, right? They tried to, you know, there was a whole war. You know, the Christianity wars in the early Crusades. It's all about controlling the narrative. It always is, always has been. But the SEC may actually drop Richard Hart's case. Let's ask AI what AI thought. Okay, so we've got the transcripts that just came out. The transcripts from the courthouse. We all packed the courthouse in Brooklyn. 70 or more passionate pro-crypto citizens, not only from the US, but from all over the world. 10 different countries flew in to protest the SEC overreach in this particular case of Richard Hart versus the SEC, to protest the unfair treatment, to let everybody know that, you know, investors are being harmed here. The SEC's mission is to protect investors. Well, when they sued Richard Hart, the price dropped 60%. They actively harmed investors. Not good. Not good. They're not very popular, not only with Congress, but with the people of the USA and worldwide, really, globally, because they think that they can apply, you know, the Howey test, this 80-year-old law, to a brand new asset class and also to police the entire globe. You know, typical America, right? thinking that you can, and Richard Hart, by the way, he doesn't even live in the USA. He's lived in probably one of the Nordic countries for the last 20 years. So everything he's doing, they might not even have jurisdiction over him. So just to give you guys a summary of the transcript, a summary, if you weren't there, I wish everybody could have been there because I wish everybody could have felt the confidence on the defense side. Richard hired the best lawyers money could buy to beat this thing. And it really, I was confident he was going to win eventually. But now after sitting through that, after hearing the defense talk, Quinn Emanuel was voted the #1 scariest lawyer in all of the U.S. multiple years in a row. Being the scariest lawyer, that means they don't lose. They don't like to lose. Okay, these guys are also a lot of money, probably a lot of money. But let me read you guys the summary because I want to convey to you how I feel, which is now 10 times more confident that not only will it get dismissed, or will it get won eventually, it might actually happen sooner than we all think. So they argued personal jurisdiction, whether or not, he doesn't even live in the country. Why are you going after this guy? And you didn't even really serve him papers properly, if you want to get into that. The timing. So there was a lot of contradictions in the timing of the SEC's complaint, right? The timeline didn't add up, which is why the defense actually provided them with a, poster board of a timeline to try to get all the facts straight, because there was a lot of circular references and contradictions. Fraud claims, meaning that, there was one point in the hearing for the motion to dismiss, just happened last week. There was one point where they were talking about fraud claims, and Judge Carroll, and to Carroll, we love her. We wish for the best. We wish that she makes the right decision. She was asking, well, what's fraud here? Is it really fraud if a guy says he's going to do something and then he does the thing that he said he was going to do? Like, he did build HEX, he did build PulseChain, he did build PulseX. So talking about building something and then building it, what's misleading there? Where's the fraud? And just wait until, if they argue any further. I mean, Richard gave all kinds of disclaimers, and also doesn't even need to be involved anymore. PulseChain, PulseX, HEX, they could live with or without Richard. If he got hit by a bus, they would still operate. That's because these are decentralized software code. Okay, that's what HEX, PulseChain, PulseX are. They don't rely on Richard doing any future work or making any promises. And the coolest thing about the whole hearing was the alter ego argument, in my opinion, because you can read the transcript, but this is a summary from ChatGPT, okay? The SEC initially named PulseChain, PulseX, and HEX as defendants, as entities, which is so weird. Remember, it's like you're trying to sue code. It's like I'm suing Richard Hart and the typewriter and the piece of paper and the pen that he used. It doesn't really make sense. He wrote some code. It's like trying to sue a poem or like song lyrics. So she grills them. I think she asked 3 times in a row. You can go read the transcript. 3 times in a row, she asks, so it seems like you're not going to pursue these alter ego identity claims. It seems like you're no longer talking about these being alter egos of Richard Hart, because they're not companies. They're not incorporations. Nobody's going to work at the HEX factory. It doesn't exist. It's just decentralized. We're all just people on the internet talking about whatever we like to talk about. No one's being paid to promote. Not me, not anybody. And so the abandonment of these claims might weaken the SEC's overall position. And in my opinion, what could be very likely in this case is, even if it doesn't get fully dismissed, if it gets dismissed against the software, PulseChain, PulseX, and HEX, what if those get dropped as defendants? And what if then it's only Richard versus the SEC, not Richard and HEX and PulseChain? You see what I mean? So this is very bullish, because if that were to be the case, hypothetically, we could then, the new narrative becomes, look, they just dropped the case against PulseChain and HEX. Richard's still going to have to argue, potentially, in this scenario, but dropping the code and only suing the person, that might be the outcome. That could be something I'm predicting that sounds likely. I mean, a dismissal is a lot more likely than I thought it was going to be. An overall full-out dismissal is in the cards, but a partial dismissal, also a very plausible scenario. Now, you got to ask ChatGPT, of course. Somebody already did this. Shout out to RH Max on Twitter, but I wanted to do this for myself just to see. So I asked it, what do you think after reading this argument? What's the probability of a dismissal from 0 to 100%? Now, I don't know what, RH Max was using. They told him 65 to 75. They told me a 60 to 70% chance. Look at that. Based on, I don't know how good of a lawyer ChatGPT is, but that's above what I had in mind. I had basically 50-50 in my head. And an AI is telling me 60-70. Look, do we listen to our AI overlords? I don't know. We got to be careful taking what AI says. Take everything with a grain of salt, but it's very entertaining, right? Very entertaining. that AI is saying such a high probability. And now, with Trump firing Gensler, you can see that gets even more likely. If Hester Pierce, the former chairman, the mother of crypto, we love Hester Pierce. She was, I think, the former chairman or the commissioner. She's been very pro-crypto. She disagrees with this reckless regulation by enforcement action. A lot of people aren't happy with the strategy that Gensler has employed. Let's say he puts Hester Pierce back in charge. You know, she's not going to want people's taxpayer dollars going to fund lawyers to fight frivolous cases like this that don't even protect investors, that are based on half-truths and a misrepresentation of facts, you know, poorly researched timelines, poorly researched everything. I think that's very much in the cards. Look, we've got a Kamala concession. She will concede, allegedly she'll be conceding tonight when I'm making this video. It's November 6th. So Kamala concedes, and the stars are aligning, people. The stars are aligning, because guess what? Federal Reserve tomorrow, talking about lowering interest rates again. What does lowering interest rates mean? It means the money printer turns back on. Now, is this a good thing? Well, it's not good for the US dollar, but that means that it's good for assets. It's risk on again. You understand, when people have more cash, when there's more global liquidity, all that liquidity, imagine all the US dollars is like a big bucket of water, right? A big bucket of water. And then you got crypto, which is like a little cup of water that's right next to the bucket. And when all that liquidity starts to overflow and that bucket starts to overflow, you can imagine some of that water will spill over, and it'll spill over into the little cups like the stock market and the crypto markets and real estate, because all that liquidity has to go into all these other asset classes and it rises, lifting all ships. You know what they say. All this money has got to go somewhere, guys. All this money has got to go somewhere. And I believe a large portion of it will be going to HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX, which is why I want to tell you guys about the #1 PulseChain exchange, GainPulseChain.com. That's an invite link. Okay, the exchange is called Coast. But if you use my invite link, GainPulseChain.com, you get 5,000 free tokens. And I'm not just shilling this because I want those tokens. I'm talking about this because I've used the platform. It's a great platform, and it gets fantastic reviews from everybody that I know that's used it. And it's available in the USA. Very important to know that, because available in the USA, this is PulseChain's very own exchange. If you use this exchange, you get to skip out on the bridge fees, which on Ethereum could be like $10 to $30, and the bridge time, which is about 30 minutes. So you save money, you save time, you save complexity, and you can mint coins directly with your bank account. You can link your bank account and send money here, and they immediately mint PLS, PLSX, or HEX into your wallet directly, which means they're outside of the flow of funds. And then from there, if you want to go buy meme coins or whatever you want to do, you can do that all within this platform. It's a one-stop shop. It's really awesome. And then when you want to sell, you can go sell through this platform too. You know, it works both ways. So money directly from any bank you have. And you could either send it via ACH or wire transfer. I hear they're working on Venmo and stuff in the future. So you create an account here. Use my code GainPulseChain.com in the description below. Look, you want to pack your bags now, because it really feels like we're at the bottom of the hockey stick. Feels like the next 12 months are going to be pretty good. We've got Bitcoin at an all-time high. Look at this, guys. Just today, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? Just the tip of the iceberg. Now, don't be surprised in the short term. You know, things can be volatile. Bitcoin can go back down to 65K for all we know, right? Who knows what's going to happen in the short term? But look, the money printers are on. BlackRock is about to get in. All the institutions are getting in. We got 401ks and we got pension funds. Michigan State pension fund. You've got like the firefighters pension fund of one of the states. Look, grandma and grandpa own Bitcoin now. They're the Bitcoin ETFs at least. And some of the Ethereum ETFs as well. So even though it's a small amount, I think the Michigan State Pension Fund was like $10 million into the Ethereum ETFs. Still a big deal. Still a big deal because it's the first domino to fall. You know, it's the first crack of that dam. And once one person does it, right, like once BlackRock gets in, once BlackRock packs their bags, they do exactly what people on influencers online do. Then they go shill their bags. They go talk their bags. You know what I mean? They just do it like at a huge scale. And so after BlackRock is done accumulating Ethereum, Bitcoin's had a lot of inflows. Bitcoin's going to keep on having inflows into their ETFs. Okay, it will. But Ethereum hasn't even started yet. And it's taken, 4 or 5 months. Everybody's, given up. You saw people dancing on graves of Ethereum holders, right? People capitulating into Solana. Guys, that's the signal we need. That's the signal we need, because I could see it now. Obviously predictions. But BlackRock, all they need to do is launch an ad campaign to mainstream normies. Again, those are the 401ks, the IRAs, the pension funds, recommending a safe allocation. What does that mean? Imagine the trillions of dollars out there in assets, all allocating just even 1 or 2% into Bitcoin ETF and Ethereum ETF, the big two. Okay, that pumps the crap out of the Ethereum price. Okay, so Ethereum hasn't even seen its run yet. Well, Bitcoin's at an all-time high. That should tell you something. Ethereum is still half of what it was at its peak of the last cycle. So get some Ethereum now if you want to. But I'm betting on newer stuff with less liquidity, with more price potential, with a crazy, raving lunatic community of which I'm a member. I'm a cult member, proud cult member. And a great founder, and great tech, truly decentralized, great narratives. PulseX is a Uniswap with a buy and burn. HEX is a better Bitcoin. It pays you the time value of money. It pays you to stake it, to hold it. And then PulseChain, of course, is a cheaper, faster version of Ethereum. Oh, and by the way, all this stuff, 99% less energy intensive than Bitcoin. So it's cleaner. It's green. If you're into that kind of thing. Bitcoin is more wasteful than stuff like Ethereum and stuff like PulseChain. If you want to buy all these coins, I think these are going to change lives. And of course, explore the entire PulseChain ecosystem too. You don't just have to have the big three. If you like meme coins, there's plenty of meme coins for you on Pulse. It's an untapped market. Seriously. Solana, Base, very saturated right now. Very saturated. Look at the front page of Dex Screener. It's always just spammed with Solana garbage, right? And you're not an insider on these. You're not an insider who's pumping and dumping. So stop losing money on pump.fun. We've even got a pump.fun over on PulseChain. It's called coin.quest. But all the fees actually get paid to the users, not to like one super rich guy. So PulseChain actually does a lot of things better. And it's just that people haven't found out about it yet. You can get started right here. You can get started right here on the deposit withdraw page. This is what it's going to look like when you create your account, okay? You just deposit and withdraw, and you can choose your method. Old Glory Bank. If you have an Old Glory Bank account, it makes it very, very easy. I recommend opening one of these bank accounts. It's actually a pretty good bank. But other people with Chase or Wells Fargo or BMO, whatever bank you have, Discover, I don't know what it's going to be. You click this right here. It gives you a routing number, an account number. And then you can just do a bank transfer or a wire transfer, which might be even faster. And you just send money here. That money is going to go into your current balance. You can see I've got $3 over here, $3. And then you just mint either CST or you go to buy over here. Go to buy where my mouse is and you can buy, what is that? PulseX, HEX. Weight token is their token that lowers your fees, right? Remember, if you use my link, it actually takes your fees down a little bit. So you're going to get 5,000 free tokens. And if you stake those, it goes from a 1% fee to a 0.75% fee. So it lowers your fees by 25%. And if you buy a little more, you can lower them by half. All right. So it's a win-win. Look, this exchange is going to save you time and money. And again, you want to pack your bags before the train leaves the station. Look, I know it's not easy to do when nobody's talking about it, but the only way you win in these things is you buy when nobody else cares about the thing. And for the past year and a half, we've been growing steadily. The PulseChain community has been growing. There's probably 20, 30,000 people, real people every day online, thousands on YouTube and Twitter, active real people. But the hordes of even mainstream crypto is not in yet, let alone all the normies that haven't even shown up to the party yet. Now, I don't know how much time is left before euphoria really kicks in. I don't know how much time is left, but there's been a year and a half already to do so. So if you're brand new watching, you're getting up to date on why we're so excited, why this Trump victory is huge for crypto, why the SEC might drop the case against Richard, all this bullish stuff, all the stars are aligning. Do your research, watch a bunch of content, read all the websites. And if you make an account here, look, you start off with buying some Pulse. Okay, that's how you're going to start because you need Pulse for gas fees, right? So you start off here, you buy some Pulse, maybe you buy some HEX as well, maybe you buy some PulseX. You can even go to swap over here and you can go buy any other coin. Look at all these little tasty little meme coins. Some of them are better than others, obviously. But there's a lot of meme coins here with actual diehard fans behind them. If you like low liquidity meme coins, if you like playing the game, if you're locked in, if you're chugging Adderall and coffee all day, staring at the screen 18 hours a day, that's not really what I do. But some people love it. Some people get hooked into crypto. And if you're one of these meme coin guys over on Solana or over on Base, you got to check this out. I mean, there's so much opportunity here. Not only with meme coins, but the core coins as well. Don't forget HEX, PulseX, INC token. Honorable mention to INC token. Debatably the best meme coin on Pulse. What do you think? DAI, PDAI. Check out the PDAI narrative. Fascinating stuff. But Pulse, HEX, PulseX, INC, those are the big four. Those are like the blue chips. Everything else, you've got DeFi utility, you've got HEX derivatives, you've got meme coins, and you can just type in any contract address here, and it'll find it all across PulseChain. You can buy any coin you want. DWB, dick with butt. Maybe you like meme coins like this. Maybe you like Pokemon. Maybe you like Pikachu, Pika coin. Look, if you like dick jokes or if you like Pokemon, PulseChain is your home. Trust me. But that's all I've got to say, guys. Bullish times ahead. Let's hope Trump does what he said he's going to do. Fire Gary Gensler on day one. Remember, his first day in office is not until January 1st, so that's about, less than 2 months away. But it feels like the tides are turning. You can feel it in the air. Guys, you can smell it. Now, politically, unfortunately, we've still got Elizabeth Warren in office. Unfortunately, John Deaton did not beat Elizabeth Warren. She's one of the only anti-crypto. She's one of the only enemies left. But again, when you've got a totally stacked in favor of crypto House and Senate, I don't think, the little old Karen of crypto, Mrs. Warren, that's what we call her, Senator Littlefeather. She pretended to be a Native American one time. It's a true story. I don't think she's going to be able to overturn the Senate and the House. And I don't know how anti-crypto these guys are. But if they know what's good for innovation and entrepreneurs in America, if they want to bring people back here, because otherwise people just leave. People have been leaving. I've left. A lot of other people have left. A lot of people would come back if they actually had clear laws, regulations, and were very friendly to crypto. I mean, Trump was even talking about taking away taxes. Not only income tax, which I don't think look, it sounds good. Very unlikely that you're going to go up against the IRS and the Federal Reserve and abolish income tax. I think he'd have another assassination attempt. Let's just put it that way. But let's say he lowers capital gains tax for crypto specifically. That'd be a huge move. That would foster a lot of innovation and a lot of good minds, good entrepreneurs to move back into America. That'd be amazing. So we'll see what happens. But the next 4 years are going to be a lot friendlier than the previous 4 years. Maybe 8 years, depending on how you look at it. Like, subscribe, share the video, leave a comment. I've also got a course. If you don't know anything about crypto, check out hexpassiveincome.com below. Also, gainpulsechain.com if you want to make an exchange account right here. It's a great exchange. It works well. Link your bank account, send money directly. Then you don't have to go across the bridge. You don't have to wait half an hour. You don't have to pay that gas fee. Prepare yourself while there's still time. I'll see you on the next video.